William Hall, here with the Atlantic Sun Conference Commissioner Jeff Bacon. Jeff, we have some big news coming out of the ASUN today. Talk to me about how important this is for the men's and women's basketball championships coming to Jacksonville.
Yeah, thanks, William. It's important because it's going to provide us an opportunity as a conference and as 12 institutions and 24 basketball teams to come together and provide what we really expect and think will be an elite championship experience for those young men and women. And that's just important in the fact that that's what we're here to do, right? That's really the ultimate objective for us as a conference and working in college athletics, is to ensure that the young people that come to our institutions have an incredible experience. So we're going to be able to provide that. We're going to be able to highlight Atlantic Sun Conference men's and women's basketball, which I think is a really important part of the story too, is that we're bringing both of these sports together under one umbrella in one venue the same week, and they're going to share that experience, as teams, as friends, as an institution, and that's pretty cool. I mean, not everyone has the opportunity or the luxury to be able to do that, and it's a unique element that I hope doesn't get overlooked in this story, is that this is going to be an institutional experience for our folks in the league, and I think that's pretty just cool. And we're in a great building. We're in an unbelievable building. VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena is just a spectacular space. They're investing dollars into the venue as we speak to enhance and upgrade it. They've done a lot already, which we've been really impressed by. It's part of the reason we're going there. And then the city of Jacksonville, Visit Jacksonville, the army of people that are behind it are also really invested in our objective here to provide that elite experience. And so when you bring all these entities together, the conference, our institutions, the city of Jacksonville, Visit Jacksonville, and VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, wow, you got a powerhouse in your pocket, and it gives you great confidence going in that we're going to have an incredible basketball tournament experience in Jacksonville in March of 2026 and hopefully well beyond that.
Yeah, you talk about that experience, and I think one of the biggest things to me for that experience is this year, all 12 teams are a part of our tournament. All 12 teams get to experience, on men's and women's side, get to experience that. How special is that for you to be able to extend that opportunity to all of our student athletes across the conference in men's and women's basketball?
It's going to sound a little silly, William, but honestly, it's almost a little emotional because, to be able to do something on that scale is just, it's hard to pull together. Mm-hmm. Let me say it that way. It's hard decisions are hard to make in a conference. You've got a lot of well-founded opinions on subjects like this that make it difficult to get somewhere. And what I'm really proud of is that our schools really came together on this topic and are collectively committed to, like you said, sending everybody there and providing that experience for every single one of our men's and women's basketball student athletes. They know right now that they're going to be in Jacksonville in March of 2026, right? And so as they go into the season, not only they know they're going, that's great, but now it's about where am I going? What's my seed, right? How long am I going to be there? Am I going to be playing on Tuesday? Am I going to be playing on Thursday, right? What's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? And so to be able to give that to everybody is special. And I don't know the numbers on how many. There's certainly plenty of other conferences that do something very similar at a very high level, and have done that for a long time. So we've got some models to work off of. But I would think I'm pretty confident in saying this, that is certainly not the norm, especially at the volume that we're going to provide it at. We're going to have 22 games played in 7 days. Get ready. That's a lot of basketball. 20. I don't know. I'd love to know. You got to do some research for me.
Yeah.
It would be great to know who else does that, because 24 teams are going to play 22 games over 7 days. Wow. And that's just really special.
Yeah, absolutely. You've kind of laid out how big of a decision this was. We obviously know the importance of this, but just without getting too deep in the weeds, talk to me about what's the process of getting an idea like that into a reality that we're in right now.
Well, let me forewarn you, if I start getting too deep in the weeds, feel free to pull me out. I might or might not have a habit of that. You know, the process, it really started back in 2023 when I was fortunate enough to get this job. And in my early conversations with our athletic directors and our presidents, it became very clear that there was at least some level of interest in taking a look at a neutral site basketball tournament format. And so I think before I even maybe started, I knew that was going to be an objective to answer the question of what do we want to do with our basketball tournament. So we didn't come in with an objective to move it or to go to a neutral site. I might suggest I had a little sense of that was where it might land just based on those conversations, but wasn't looking to necessarily drive it that direction. We were really looking to just answer the question once or for all. Do we want to stick with the format that we currently have and continue to look for ways to enhance it? Or do we want to consider something different? And so we started that a long, long time ago, maybe 18, 20 months ago, in fact. And it's been a process. I think the House settlement slowed us down, to be very honest. I think we were on track to perhaps make this decision a little bit earlier, and then the House settlement forced us to at least slow down and factor that into the equation as we considered this. But, you know, from process, once we decided we were going to take a look at it, we put an RFP together. Our staff did a great job with that. We sent that out to many venues, cities, communities, because when you look at our footprint, which is right behind us, right, I don't even have to articulate it. You can see imagine the incredible cities we have at our fingertips. So, you know, without even listing all of them, just use your imagination. We had some incredible bids from just incredible cities. I mean, this was highly competitive. And I was really pleased to see the level of interest in the event. I was really pleased to see the level of commitment to the event. Jacksonville is certainly highly invested and committed to this event, but they weren't the only ones. Mm-hmm. You know, there were a lot of cities that really hoped to bring this championship to their community because they recognize the value that it brings and because they really care about our schools and our institutions and our conference. So it was really a hard decision, and that's, I think, part of why it took a long time. You know, we did some site visits, we went and visited venues, we went and visited cities, we heard a lot of presentations. Our ADs heard a lot of presentations, and then we had what our athletic directors might describe as too many conversations about it. But it's an important decision, right? It's certainly one of the most important decisions that we can make as a conference, what to do with our basketball tournament. So it deserved a lot of time, you know. It deserved a lot of energy. It deserved a lot of research. It deserved a deep dive into the finances, into the data, into the benefits, and making sure that when we came out on the other side, we felt really confident that we could deliver on what we were saying we would deliver on, and that's that elite championship experience for our student athletes. So the process took quite a while. Our athletic directors did a great job. I got to thank all of them for their energy and commitment, their openness. I was tremendously impressed by their ability to work together cohesively on this. This wasn't a me decision. This was a membership decision, you know, and kudos to them. They came together as a membership, and, you know, people don't always agree on everything. 12 people, it's hard to get to agree, and I'm not going to say that everybody agrees on every little thing we've ever done or decided, even with this championship, but they really did come together and say, yeah, this is the right thing to do for this league, to go to a neutral site and just send it to Jacksonville. And I'm really proud to have been a part of that and to have watched them work in that space. And same thing to our President's Council. You know, ultimately, any recommendations that our athletic directors make walk into our President's Council room, and we've got a great board of leaders of institutions that understand the vision for the league, that understand the vision for what we can do with this basketball tournament once we do bring it to Jacksonville, and the value that that's going to add to them as institutions. Again, right, we're talking about higher education institutions that just happen to have some athletic programs, right? And so it's really important for our institutions to be valued and highlighted along the way, and to be able to talk about, you know, Austin Peay at that time of year, and to be able to talk about North Alabama and Queens University, and I'm going to leave everybody out here, West Georgia, et cetera, right? Stetson, everybody that's in this conference in one umbrella is going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, our presidents were great. Our athletic directors were great. I think we made a really well-informed decision, and although we had great other options that I would have also felt really, really great about, I think we made the right choice and landed in a place that, as we like to say in our halls and in our messaging, it's a destination, right? And that was an important part of this at the end of the day. We talk about the Atlantic Sun Conference being the destination, and we are in myriad ways, and this is just one more piece of that puzzle in solidifying our identity.
Yep. It's always great to be wanted. You talked about all the cities that wanted to get this tournament in their city. We did land in Jacksonville. This is the destination. Why Jacksonville?
Well, I mentioned already the support of the community and the city. And again, I got to thank there's again too many people to mention, but all of the people who know who they are that were really committed to making sure it ended up here. They kind of said from the start, we're going to make sure this comes to Jacksonville. And they put their money where their mouth is, literally and figuratively. But they put together a great package that not only made us feel like we're coming to a place that we can put on a successful, viable experience for those student athletes, but also really showed their commitment. It was clear from day one, and it continued to be clear up until the very end, that the people behind this, from the city of Jacksonville standpoint and the community standpoint and the venue standpoint, were going to do everything in their power to make sure it didn't go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, this is a partnership. This isn't a transactional relationship. We're going to sign some contracts, but this isn't a transactional relationship. This is a partnership. And for this to really work, we need true partners that will work with us, that understand the vision, that understand what we're trying to do. It's also not a one-year partnership. This is a multi-year partnership. Hopefully this is a 30-year partner. Hopefully this partnership exists well beyond our time in the Atlantic Sun Conference, right? And it means something to the city. And I think they recognize the value it brings to the city. We recognize what they can provide. It's a great venue. Again, ViStar is just a tremendous arena. Provides all the amenities and opportunities that we could want in terms of fan experience and alumni experience, and all of our constituents we can really activate in and around the arena, and that's important, and that played a big role in this. You've got a great part of the country to be in March, I'm not going to lie, right? Coming to the beach in March is going to be really nice.
Yeah.
And as a Cleveland, Ohio person, I can guarantee you that. The weather here is pretty good, and we got a great hotel partner that we haven't announced that yet. That's I'm sure will come in the future, but I can promise people we're going to have a great hotel partner, and so the all-around experience for our institutions, our student athletes, our coaches, our fans, is going to be really high level. You're going to have a great hotel experience. You're going to have a great, hopefully, weather experience. You're going to be able to get out and about and spend some time. You can, if you're a fan of the conference or of any of our institutions or a parent, this is an opportunity to get down to Florida and spend, if you can pull it off a whole week. We got 7 days of games if you want to, bite off that much of the apple, but come down for a few days, and get away and have a little vacation and watch some amazing basketball with some amazing student athletes and support your school and do it in a way that can be a lot of fun. It's an ask for people to plan and spend their money these days. There's a lot to do, and we want to make sure that our fans have an opportunity to go somewhere where they get an awesome experience. We talk about student athlete experience, which is obviously paramount, but our fan experience is really important as well. We want them to come down and enjoy their time here and want to come back, and it's on us to make sure that they have that. So those are just some of the reasons we landed on Jacksonville in particular. On top of that, I just mentioned that it's the home of our conference office. It's where you and I are sitting right now. We moved our offices here in just a few months ago. Technically, we announced that move almost a year ago. We pulled it off last fall, so we're still kind of newbies to the Jacksonville area. But as part of the relocation to Jacksonville, I made a promise to this community to bring events, or to at least help try to bring events to this community as a part of our relocation. And so it's really satisfying to be sitting here today, having fulfilled that promise.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. You mentioned the longevity piece of wanting this to be a long-term partnership with the city and the tournament here. What are your visions of what this could mean for the future of the Atlantic Sun Conference? I mean, possibly even outside of the sports of men's and women's basketball for the conference, the city. Like, what do you see further down the line where this could take us?
Well, I think for the conference, it does a few things. One, it repositions us to a degree in terms of the Division I landscape, and I think it just, I'm not sure if this is a perception or reality, but it certainly makes a statement that we are committed to men's and women's basketball. And we are committed to being successful in men's and women's basketball, and we're putting resources behind it to try to ensure that we're committed and successful in men's and women's basketball. And we've got some high-profile teams right now doing some high-profile things. I mean, the competitiveness of our league on both the men's and the women's side is at an all-time high. We've got, I mean, I'm obviously biased, but I'm pretty sure on the men's and women's side, come March Madness, we got a shot to surprise some people. And not just with one or two teams. We got maybe myriad teams that have the opportunity to walk into March Madness and shock the world a little bit. I think that's how good the basketball is in this conference right now, especially at the top end of the spectrum. So it's great for us as a league. It's just another commitment to a sport that is obviously tremendously important to us, especially from a visibility standpoint and a marketing and awareness standpoint. It provides a platform for us to tell our stories. And when I say our stories, I mean the Atlantic Sun, but I also mean our institutions, right, and what's going on our campuses. So anytime we can develop a platform that helps accelerate that storytelling, we got to take a look at that, right? And that's what this helps us provide us. So it's perception. It's us putting our money where our mouth is. It's saying that basketball matters. And it's really helping us to expand our storytelling mechanisms, right, which you guys will hopefully have a lot of fun with on the external team here, for example. I think for the city, we talk about longevity and trying to hopefully be here for time well beyond ours. What this event does for Jacksonville is, one, it fills a little bit of what's going to be a void here in the athletic landscape, because the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be moving out of town for a short period of time as they build what's going to be a spectacular new football stadium. So they're going to be gone for a little while. I think the Florida-Georgia game is moving out of town for a short period of time. So there's going to be a little bit of a vacuum in the sports landscape here in Jacksonville, and we feel like we can come fill that for the city and provide keep that energy at a high level that this is a sports destination, which it is. So I think that helps the city. I also, this is an event that's going to bring serious economic impact to the city of Jacksonville on a multi-year basis. And, we're going to run some data and get some numbers and put some facts behind what I'm about to say. But, this is an event that conservatively is probably a $10 million a year plus economic impact to the city of Jacksonville. So you think about the number of hotel rooms that are going to be utilized. You think about the activation of the restaurants in downtown for, again, a week. We're talking 7 days here, guys, right? We're not talking about coming in and out for a concert for a night. We're talking about 7 days of people in downtown Jacksonville. So the restaurants are going to be buzzing and hopping. The hotels are going to be full, not just the hotels that we use, but fans coming in and traveling, right, and booking up hotel rooms and eating out at all the great restaurants that Jacksonville has to offer. They're going to be out shopping. They're going to be at the beaches. So you start to think about that and what we can provide for an entire week just from a tourism perspective and an economic impact perspective. It's pretty substantial, and those numbers are real numbers, and they help provide jobs, and they help support businesses and grow businesses and develop downtown. And what Jacksonville's doing downtown now is really exciting, because you're building a brand new football stadium. They're building a brand new 5-star hotel, which are going to be, by the way, a minute or two walk from where we're going to be. They're doing renovations to their minor league baseball ballpark that are going to be spectacular. I already mentioned that VyStar Arena's got upgrades coming. There's some waterfront work or restoration or revival happening, which is great because you're right on the St. Johns River right there. It's a beautiful scene. So I hope that we can just be just another piece of that puzzle for the city of Jacksonville to help continue the momentum that they have right now in terms of growing the downtown landscape.
Yeah. Well, this is obviously huge news a very exciting day for the ASUN. We still got some games in this year's tournament, men's and women's basketball.
That's
So we're
right.
excited about that, but we definitely are focused on 2026, and I'm happy to go along with the ride for this. This is going to be fun. So thank you for the time, Commissioner Bacon, and we're locked in.
You're welcome. Thanks, William.